Well,
The signs say no.
We're the only badass novel bitches around.
Oh, there we go.
If I'm good to go.
Then, when the music is broken off,
yeah, you're supposed to like. There you go.
I'm so excited for this!
Flower bookmarks. These are so pretty.
we all got different designs. Mine is bamboo with like a
Oh my god, that was an exciting adventure.
We've got her with us tonight. Welcome back.
Hi,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Hey again.
Bitches!
Hi. Hello, welcome. We are live. We had a little fun. We weren't ready and threw up the intro anyway. But welcome, everyone.
Hi, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley.
Everyone, we have our November author of 50 Words for Rain, Asha Lemmie, with us tonight. Welcome, Asha. We're so excited.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me.
We are excited. There was so much going on in this story.
So much for us to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot to talk about, right? Are you gonna interrogate me about the ending?
Oh no.
We'll leave it to
No
girls.
interrogations, no, but you might
We
get
do have questions. We do
Okay.
yeah, and you might get bombarded for a
Hey,
sequel.
Caitlin.
Or prequel.
Or a
Whoa.
prequel.
Whoa.
Okay.
Hey, Christina.
Ooh, welcome, bees. Get in here, hop on. We won't ask any of anyone's questions until you guys are all here. They're all going to take a few minutes to hop in, but
So let me ask you this first. You watched one of our lives?
I watched part of it, yes. I watched
oh, good.
the part where you guys were talking about your theories about Nori's parents.
Was
Did
that
it make
hilarious
it?
to watch?
How did your thought process going through what we were saying?
You know, it's always so interesting to me to see how everybody interprets the book. You guys, I've had some readers make some like crazy conspiracy theories, and I'm like, I never even thought of that, but good for you. You should send me your ideas. Like, email me.
Right.
That would be so funny.
We go on long tangents sometimes. We read this one horror book and we made a whole story on its own, realizing that we were just
Yeah,
And it was so simple.
Isn't that what like fan fiction is?
Right.
Yeah.
It's basically you take a written story and then you do whatever you want with it. So
Oh.
Right.
lots of freedom.
Yeah. Well, we don't need any of that because we actually just really enjoyed yours all on its
Yes.
own.
Oh, thank you so
And
much.
I think that especially her, some of us were quite surprised. I know you were.
Oh my goodness. Okay, there are some really terrible reviewers.
They're
I don't know
wrong.
who read your book, but I don't know who gave them a blog and allowed them. I read like one really, really, really bad review, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna hate this book. I don't want to read it." But
Right.
as I was reading it, I was like, "This person just lied through the whole review. The entire review was bullshit. It was terrible."
Honestly, I don't read reviews for the
Good.
it's just not really something I find. It's not because I'm thin-skinned. I don't really care what they have to say. They don't sign my checks. You know,
Boom.
they're
Hit it,
entitled
girl.
to their opinion, you know, but at the end of the day, I just feel like the book is already written. What the hell do you want me to do?
Right.
You know,
Oh my God, that's good.
I
Go
already
respond to them.
Your way. They bought your book and they read it. So
I can't go back and change it because Kathy from Iowa doesn't like it.
Oh, good old Karen from Nebraska.
Yeah,
Let me
so-
respond for you. Asha said.
There's like millions of books in the world. Go read something else. That's the thing I don't understand. People dedicate
Right.
all this energy to like things that they hate. Like that's not in my worldview. That's not the key to happiness. I've read plenty of books that I haven't liked. I haven't written blog posts about them, but that's just me. I don't really think that
It's a matter of like, just because you may not like this part or that part of a book doesn't mean it's a bad book in
I
other.
will admit the one thing that gets under my skin is when people 1-star the book because they didn't like the ending.
Mm.
And I'm
Haters.
just like,
Stupid.
the fact that you cared that much, it's at least 2 stars.
Right? Like,
Right.
you
Right?
invested.
Like,
Your
at
heart's
some
invested.
point, I had you giving a crap about what happened, and that's
I
not.
agree.
Honestly, you
Yep.
can't go by reviews. And here's the thing: the
No.
book has
No.
mostly positive reviews. It's got like 92% at least people thought it was at least passable on
Right.
Amazon, Goodreads, whatever. So I don't actually read reviews, but I keep tabs on the average ratings.
Right.
And my average ratings are all still really high. But
Look,
the
when you get a bad
algorithm-
review, you should just send him a picture of this. Okay? Send him that.
The
Send 'em
algorithm is a shady bitch, though, because
Oh,
the
yeah.
algorithm likes to put the nasty ones up top.
Right on
Even
top.
if-
Well, and they like to put the one that's most looked at, and people
Yeah.
like to look at the
at
nasty.
negative reviews. I
Right.
have, and I honestly think that's part of the reason some people leave these really scathing reviews is because they know that they're going to get attention. The well thought out, moderate, this book had strengths and weaknesses critiques do not attract as much attention as this book caused me to go blind and murder my toddler kind of reviews.
Right, exactly.
I forgot how to read after reading this book. No.
And that's another thing, to be honest, and no shade, but some of these people can't read. Like
Right.
their reading comprehension is not there.
Right.
You know, like you're sitting here saying that, the author said X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, show me the page number and the line. Because no, I didn't. And whether you like it or not, you're just out here misquoting things. So, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. Forget it.
Good.
I
Good for
absolutely
you.
loved it. So I went into the book thinking, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna hate this book. But I absolutely loved this book. And
Thank you.
I was so happy. This was Dominique's Dominique's
Harvey.
choice for November. So
Yeah.
I was so glad that I ended up really, and I do Audible now, so it was really fun to listen to. And so I think that just gave it a whole different experience to me because it's the different voices for the different characters too. So it just gives it another layer of the whole book and the story and all of that.
The experience is different, yeah. Because I did both because there are times when you're busy with your hands, and so you pop in the Audible, and then we all have our books, and it's like I get to do both. But it was cool to hear a lot of the how to pronounce things, and I don't know. It's just like she said, it adds another layer, but. All of us are adding 5 different options, and we download it on everything that we possibly can, and then we buy both, hardcover and softback and Cliff's Notes, and so
We got it all
Yeah.
between us.
Yeah,
I loved it. It was a surprise for me too, because honestly, when she gave us the title, I was like,
it was amazing.
it's for rain.
I
Like
don't
in
know
my
what
head,
I
I
got
just
myself into here.
no, nothing bad. But in my head, I was thinking I just heard haikus. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was gonna be
like a super.
and I was like, oh no,
haiku
but
book.
this was I could not stop reading it. I got in trouble a couple times because I went ahead a couple pages when I was supposed to stop. And then after the last meeting, right when we ended, I went and read. And I texted him I think it was an hour later when I was done. I was like, hurry up and read it. Yeah.
Oh, it was our first meeting, and then we started opening the book during.
Yeah.
What must happen next?
We're like, what's going to happen next? And all of us are just quietly reading.
We
while-
just have the book. We're trying to talk.
We were about to do a read along, but then StreamYard would have kicked us off.
Right.
Because I was like, we need to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So much happened, and we have about 1.5 million questions. And I know that everyone that reads with us and is watching now is going to have some of their own. So we will try and get through as many as we possibly can while we have you. And then at the end, we will play some of our favorite games, a little this or that.
Ooh.
How much we get to relate to some of our favorite authors. And
Ooh, is it dirty? Is it a G-rated game or a PG?
It's G-rated.
We're
But
the
how you want to
novel
play,
bitches.
girl.
We are the novel bitches.
However you want to play.
We should have
a rating. That's
You
fine.
should have
have
seen. You should have
two.
seen our June book.
yeah,
That was-
that.
That's
That was my.
You know what? Do we have a picture of the box that you put together for her?
Oh,
Is it
I can
added
get.
to our list here of things?
Because then we can show you. I don't know if you saw the box that we curated based off of your book.
I think somebody tagged me in something on Instagram.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I think I saw somebody. I came up with my story.
Yeah. We make sure that we post and get like all of our authors at least tagged in there. Give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, there is so much that we can all say about this, but why don't we
Here it is.
pop up some of our questions after doing
Questions.
the shows off? Yeah, let's see. Are you gonna show it off in a second, Anna?
Oh,
Want me to-
here. But here it is.
Yeah,
Ooh, fancy.
a little bit
Very
of wasabi, right?
fancy.
We
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
tried some writing. We're not very
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
That's,
That was a fun one.
so everybody got the ink.
Oh, you have wasabi peas.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
literally hate those.
Oh,
I did not eat them either.
you know, it's like hate or love. I feel
They're
like with
gross.
those.
They're gross, and I have a friend who loves them, and she like when she comes back from Japan, she brings like a whole checked bag full of like wasabi peas, and I'm like, gross.
Is it just the wasabi or the peas?
I don't like either.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
it's just really not my. I don't like. Okay, I'm like a toddler with my palate. I don't really care for green vegetables.
Hey, we all have our vices.
Even when they're dried, salted, and spiced.
Wait.
I like salad. I don't like cooked
Okay.
green vegetables as much, except for broccoli. Really.
Broccoli is easy to love.
That's
See
a good
me,
one.
I gotta. If it's a vegetable, it needs to be roasted. That's the only way I can do
That-
that.
Roasted broccoli is really good.
Mhm.
Hands down.
At least
I agree.
weekly in my house.
Add a little bit of lemon zest.
Yeah.
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 That's gonna be on my to-do list.
I didn't like them either. My husband ate them. I ate mine. Every one of our meetings, I was snacking on mine. I love it all. I
Really?
don't like peas,
Yeah.
but wasabi peas, I will take them down.
Well, what's funny is my youngest, she's 4 and hates peas. And then she saw my bag. She's like, "What's that?" I was like, "Try it." You know, 'cause she likes spicy. She's like, "Wait a second. These are the things I don't like."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, and you like them now, huh?" She's
Yeah.
like,
She got
"Yeah,
into
I'll
it.
eat them now." And I'm like, "All right."
Oh my gosh, that's good. Yeah, it's funny that you don't like wasabi, considering we heard a lot about it.
Akira. Yeah. So
He loved his wasabi.
he did. I know people like that. It's like they have like whatever their condiment is, they put it on everything.
Mm-hmm.
It grosses me the heck out, but I have so many friends like that, whether it's like wasabi or fish sauce.
Or
They'll just
ketchup.
put it or ketchup. And for
Ketchup.
my, American peeps, they'll put ketchup on everything. And I'm
Well,
like,
no, a lot of it, like I have a lot of Asian friends where they put it on everything, like
yeah.
everything.
I had an
ketchup,
uncle that put it on pizza.
everything.
He
It's
would
like
squeeze it
yeah.
on the top of his hello.
Okay, my stepmom is from Milan, and she would probably never speak to me again if I put ketchup on
I'm
pizza.
telling you. Well, the funny thing is my family is Italian.
You'd be
Why
out.
he did it, couldn't tell you.
Ranch. Is
Ranch. Oh yeah. Okay. There are definitely ranch is like a cult classic. There's some people who like put it on everything.
Yeah. Well, I'll
Ranch is
put
good.
ranch on my salad and then put my salad on top of my pizza.
You know
Oh, bomb.
what actually it makes a good topping for that I just recently discovered? If you mix it with a little bit of hot sauce, it is delicious on a burger.
Yes. Oh
See,
yeah.
I mix ranch and
Yeah.
Italian dressing.
Oh, I never tried that.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it is so good because it
We're
gives
just
you like
gonna
a
sit
creamy
here and
Italian.
talk
Talk
about
about
food.
Yeah, just food. That's my game right there. I'm good.
Yeah. I used to do that back in the day when I was bartending and would come home and needed something to eat, and it would be like ranch, Italian,
Yeah.
pasta noodles, and I was disgusted by myself by then. But
I
it was
don't have
good.
my college stomach anymore because I'm getting old. So
Right? It's not the same.
no,
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to be careful. I used to go to like late night and just eat like disgusting amounts of greasy fried food.
Yes.
And then get up in the morning and go
Me
do
too.
spin.
I had
And
to
be
cut all
fine.
that out.
And like it was fine. I'd work out for like an hour and a half after
Right?
tater tots. Yeah, it's like what? So
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, But you know, it's so
hard to do.
I worked out like a maniac in college, and I look better now. And what is that? That's not fair. Now I've given up.
Oh, wow. Honestly, you know what though? I think like as you get older and you start to love yourself more, you just look.
I think
You look
what,
like you love yourself. You know,
maybe I actually look worse, and it's just that the self love has finally kicked in.
Self-love.
But whatever. We're gonna ride this until the last stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as soon as you start loving your body and your whole look, oh man, it's good.
You know, I used to be so insecure about it, but now all these girls are out here. You know, I had somebody DM me the other day wanting to know where I got my boobs done.
Oh,
true story. And I was like, the Academy of Jesus H. Christ.
And you are my new favorite fan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Right? I mean,
I love it.
I'm a writer, so that's the last DM I was expecting. Right? It was so bizarre.
Hilarious.
I was like, am I being pranked?
No.
But no, she was totally sincere.
No.
She was really nice about it. She was like,
I need to know.
They look good. And I'm like, thanks, girl.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'd be getting a DM like, "Hey, girl, where'd you get them big ass kneecaps?" And be like, "No, that's just my titties hanging low, girl. That's my Jesus H Christ boob job. I get to play hacky sack when I jog."
So, but I was a teenager in the mid 2000s, and you got to remember back then it was the style to be like really skinny.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to wear all of those
layers.
two tops.
Well, that was with
things.
What was her name? The one model. It was like heroin thin. They called it, right?
Ooh,
Yeah, heroin chic.
Yeah, there we
Well,
go.
you wore the jeans that came just above your pubes.
I did those. Those were my jeans. Desiree had some too.
And your hip bones would show.
Yeah. And those clothes looked much better on people who were like really thin.
Yeah.
So
that's where Muffin Top came out of.
Yeah.
Came from.
So
yeah, that's why I wore Dickies.
Super insecure about like everything. I was the most insecure person on earth until I was probably about like 21 or so, 22. And it's not because I got any better. It's just because I ran out of F's to give.
There you go. I ran out of F's.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I
Good.
don't care. Like literally, I'm gonna die one day, and I'm sitting here pressed about you for what?
Right. Well, you don't need to worry about that shit. First of all, you're gorgeous, and secondly, this book.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
This book is everything. It was like everything we needed right when we needed it.
Ooh.
I loved this story so much. It touched me. I finished the book here a few days ago, and I was sitting in her dining room crying. Yes, and I was like, nobody look at me. I'm just crying about this dream sequence right
now. The dreams. I cried when I wrote
in tears. Did you cry writing it?
That's the only part of the book I shed an actual tear.
Did you write like this whole story like in order, or did you?
Yeah, I write chronologically. Otherwise, I get confused. But I don't. Sometimes I'll pin a chapter. Like I'll put a pin in it and I'll like outline it and I'll go write the next one. Typically, I do that if it's like super emotional or something, and I want to kind of be done for the day after I do that.
Okay.
But I do write chronologically. I semi outline, like I sort of have an idea of where the plot is going, but then I change my mind.
Right. That's just
halfway through.
Kind of guides you, and then
I'm like I know I planned for this, but I'm just gonna throw that out the window.
So is that what happened with this book? Because you started writing it really young, right?
Yeah, I was 16, and I didn't feel young. I felt like I'd been alive for a million years, and yeah, I think for me, writing this book was a form of maybe trying to connect. I connected with these characters, and then I didn't work on it during college because I was really busy.
Yeah.
I was like on my quest to be Little Miss Perfect in college. Thank God I've given up on that. But I was always super busy, like classes. I was in like every club I could get my hands on, you know. And then after college, I sort of like it was kind of like the wheels fell off. I didn't know where I was going anymore. I had spent my whole life being in school. My whole identity was wrapped up in like being a good student and like being smart and being like that. And then when it was over, I was like, what do I do now?
Right.
Now
Like,
you can finish the book.
Yeah, I didn't have a set goal in front of me. It wasn't like go to class, get grades, take tests, like do the X, Y, and Z, right? And I read an article that basically said you're conditioned from birth to 21 for things to have a set expiration date.
Ooh.
Everything ends, right?
Yeah.
Elementary school, you go to middle school you go to high school you go to college.
Nah.
College ends and you go where?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had like an existential crisis basically, and I was like really trying to figure out the core of how I wanted to live my life. And I remember that I used to write all the time and I used to love it. It used to bring me a lot of fulfillment and joy. And I stopped because people told me that it wasn't a practical thing to invest my time in.
Wrong go. Oh, you send your book to all those assholes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't believe in revenge.
No, that's not. No.
I believe in success. I think it speaks for itself.
And I would say so. Damn, you've had some amazing things happen, obviously, since this.
I've been so lucky. I'm just like I like to say if I didn't have bad luck before 22, I wouldn't have had any luck at all. I had some really like unfortunate things happen to me, but it like everything changed after, like, I would say the tide really started to turn like in my mid 20s. So I like to say that my luck was just buffering.
Yeah.
And it finally kicked in.
Is it luck or is it hard work, girl?
I'm just gonna switch you really quick so that you don't have that over your head. Just letting you know so it doesn't.
There we go.
Well, now she's got the Neville bitches over her face.
Oh, okay. I can move over.
Well, here, then I'll move her here.
There you go.
There we go.
Now the bitch is over the right person.
There we go.
Sorry, just didn't want that over your head. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Well, what else do we have? We have so many questions. I just want to make sure that we get to all of them.
Sure. Fire.
If anybody
away.
has any questions, do them now before we do ours, because otherwise we're not going to get to yours.
Yeah. You know,
I guess I hope this isn't a personal question. Anna had mentioned it the other day, and you just mentioned that you had what you just said, a couple trials or whatever with at the very end of the book where you think yourself.
Yes.
Is that what you were referring to just then? You were saying, and lastly, thank you for my former self for surviving the rain.
Yeah. So the last line in my acknowledgments, and I almost didn't put it in because I'm not really like a big-headed kind of person. But I thought it was actually important to take a minute to acknowledge that this book wouldn't exist if I didn't exist. And trust me, there were some times when existing was not on my bingo card of things that I was interested in doing. And yet here I am. Yeah. And I like to think that it's so easy to look back at our young selves and just beat the crap out of them and only see the stupid stuff that we did. But at the end of the day, if you never bleed, you're never going to grow.
Right.
And if you never reach your full potential, then you're robbing yourself and you're robbing the people around you who you might be able to be of some benefit to.
I agree.
So I think, and this is difficult. I still struggle with this, but it's difficult. But I think you have to look back on yourself and show yourself some grace.
Yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody does dumb things, you know. Yes. And as long as you have put effort into bettering yourself, then I think you should be proud of that.
Yeah.
You also can't judge yourself against other people.
Oh yeah.
Like you never know. You only see where people finish in the race. You never see where people start. You know, and would you judge someone in a foot race who finished, you know, slower because he had 50-pound weights tied to his ankles? That's what it's like for some people. Some people have, metaphorically speaking, 50-pound weights tied to their ankles, like as they progress into adulthood. Some people get to kind of go straight into being like relatively functional adults, and some people have to unlearn their whole childhoods first.
Oh yes.
That and that will put you behind a little. It doesn't mean you'll never get there. So you never know what somebody has been through.
Yeah, and that's what I tell actually my girls is you can't compare yourself to anybody but yourself. Yes,
compete against yourself. Don't compete against Tom, Dick, and Harry, because you have no idea what kind of advantages or disadvantages they may have had.
Well, you know what's funny that you mentioned? So, you know, me and Tasha grew up together. That's how we know each other. And, you know, when I look at a lot of the classmates that graduated with us, and you would see that they owned homes and they did these things. And I'm thinking like, God, why am I not at that part of my life yet? Why don't I have that milestone yet? You know, but then see, the problem with social media, especially today, is everybody wants to portray what they want you to see. Then you find the backstory of what's real. So a lot of those people that, owned homes when they were young, guess what? Now they're back living with family because they couldn't pay for the home, or they're up to their ears in debt, you know, and it's like, I feel like, okay, it might have taken us a little longer, but you know what? My debt is paid off. We're financially stable, and now we're gonna be able to buy a home without anything hanging over.
Or you realize mommy and daddy bought the house for them.
That too.
But it's like,
true. Yeah.
but I had to do that too. I had to just stop and say, look, don't stop comparing yourself to everyone else that graduated with you or is your age. Like, just go about your own timeline. And it's hard to step away and come to that realization.
It's very difficult. We live in an Instagram world. We live in a Facebook world. We live in a world where it's very easy to keep tabs on what other people are doing. And it's very easy to sit back from a distance and decide that they're doing so much better than you are.
Right.
You know, like, I would also like to point out a special shout out to people who didn't come anywhere close to their full potential in high school and college.
Yeah.
It's not over.
Yeah.
I know sometimes it feels like it's over because you're in this weird pressure cooker of people who seem like they're so much more together than you are.
Yeah.
But some people have longer climbs because they have higher peaks.
Yeah. Girl, yes.
I like that.
Love it. Oh my goodness.
Here, we have some questions.
Yes,
I do. I'm going to pop one of these up because Rebecca is talking about her experience with college here.
Keep changing your mind about.
Oh, you've got a good husband though. Hang on to him.
They've been married a long time. They have teenagers. There's no way he's leaving.
No.
That's so nice. So supportive.
Yeah, I was gonna say very supportive to have someone who's willing to let you, you know, like explore all your ideas.
Yeah, it's nice.
All right, we're gonna go to Jen.
What you got, girl?
Why
did you choose this time frame to write about, and what was your inspiration?
So I read primarily historical fiction. I love all time periods, but like I also read a lot of fiction. I would say World War I, World War II. That seems to be very popular time periods to write about. And I just noticed that a lot of it was very European focused. Historical fiction is, all of publishing is super white. Like,
yes, it is.
But historical fiction, like, nominated for top 3 whitest genres. Like it's usually, and there's no problem with this. I'm not saying that there is, but it's usually written by white ladies, about white ladies, and for white ladies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I had a little bit of a different take.
Good.
Believe it or not, this is not just a summer tan. I am not white. And well, it's fall now, so but
using that Jergens, girl. That natural glow.
The protagonist who was more relatable for me. I wanted a brown, you know, young woman, person of color, mixed race girl, who spoke to me a little more.
Right.
And then, my auntie is from Japan. She's an immigrant. And I was close to her growing up. And I got like interested. I started learning the language. I started spending time there. And I guess I just kind of combined all of that and in a magic box, and out came 50 Words for Rain.
That was one reason that drew me to picking the book. I'm half Filipino, half white, and so my dad was the one. My dad's Filipino. He was one to break the bloodline. So we were like the first ones of our kind in the family.
Yeah.
So I was like kind of excited to read like in that kind of realm of things.
I agree.
So, we have to talk, because you're Filipino, we have to talk about colorism.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. Yeah.
Because in my family alone, we have all ranges. And I was a few years ago, my cousin, because they sell, we're all the creams and whatnot.
The whitening creams, yeah.
Yeah, and my cousin's like, oh, I'm trying to use it. And I'm like, dude, like, stop. Like, she's like, no, I need to be lighter. I was like, dude, do you know how many people pay for your skin color, dude? Like,
no, but not amongst people
not there.
of
No,
color.
but she's here. Well, I was just saying
about,
she was also younger, so I'm trying to like get to her,
like explain it to her nicely.
Uh,
Yeah, it starts so young.
Mm.
I mean, I was maybe in second grade or something, and this girl was like, Asha, you should like wash better. And I was like, what? I washed.
Oh, you said you're from Virginia?
Yeah. But not that part of Virginia. I'm from Nova.
Oh, I don't know much about Virginia.
Okay, so Northern Virginia, DC, and certain suburbs of Maryland are one state.
Okay.
This is like difficult to explain for people who aren't from the area. It's called the DMV. It's like a triangle.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, it's like, from Northern Virginia to DC is like 5 minutes. That's like, it's right across the bridge.
It is. It's really close over there. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I would equate it to somebody being from certain parts of Jersey.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Except even closer. So, yeah, it wasn't like the rednecky part of Virginia. I'm sorry, I don't want to get in trouble for.
No, you are fine.
You're good.
Say what you say.
Look at our name.
We are the Navel Bitches.
We don't give a shit. You say everything you need to say while you're
so
here.
I was surprised, right? And also, like, I grew up fairly affluent, so I went to like nice liberal prep schools, right? Like, you're not supposed to get those kinds of comments. Right. But this little girl, like, straight up told me that I should wash better. Oh, and then also I had a picture of Prince Harry in my locker, and she took it down, and she said that brown girls couldn't be princesses.
They were like,
did you hit her in the mouth?
No, I was like 7. I didn't hit her.
No, at that age, you're just
girl. Go find her now.
I had a similar, not that. I remember I always wore pink. I still wear pink, and we were playing Power Rangers. I was like, I want to be the Pink Ranger, and they're like, no, you have to be the yellow one. And I was like, dude, I wear pink. I was like, you're not even wearing pink.
That's stupid.
Oh,
I'm wearing pink. Damn it, I'm the Pink Ranger.
But I think it's important to like the fact that was 20 years ago, and I still very distinctly remember what she said to me.
Yeah,
this stuff sinks into kids really early. Yeah, and it really hurt my feelings sitting here telling me I can't be a princess.
Yeah. Well, see, so okay, you're from Norfolk, so I went to Hampton, Virginia, for a funeral, and this was 5 years ago now, 6 years ago, and me and my husband, because we have tattoos and stuff, we were even looked at like we were aliens.
Crazy people.
I felt that it is very different mentality over there, and that's right over the bridge from where you grew up, right?
Yeah. So I grew like I was born in like the Arlington area. Yeah. And then I grew up in like Montgomery County, which is like really close to DC. It's like a very boring rich suburb. Thank you, Meghan Markle. That's the
I was
girl.
gonna say, I was like, wait, can we get to who he married, please?
That was actually my first thought when I was watching the wedding. I was like, I wonder if that
Straight.
Like, where's that?
little.
Where's her Facebook? But
I
I
wonder if
hope
that
she
little
watched
rat
it.
is
She was
watching
probably
this
there.
wedding right here and watching him march this gorgeous woman of color
Yeah.
right down that aisle. So you know,
Right.
you can
and
show.
American.
I
But you
love
know, it's funny
that
because
is-
because it goes both ways. And I think we made a comment about this last live. So I'm, you know, obviously very light skinned. This is not just my winter tan. You know, I am white. But people just automatically assume like I'm some, you know, daughter of the Confederates and my
Oh,
family
God.
is from, you know, Southern descent, when I'm just like a total white girl.
Mhm.
I'm first generation here on my mom's side, and second on, oh, no, I'm sorry, first on my dad's, second on my mom's. We're Italian,
Mhm.
Croatian, Peruvian. So, and people have no clue. My sisters speak fluent Spanish, and they'll hear people talk all kinds of crap and then just wait for the right time to chime in.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's just the act of
Mhm.
judging somebody by what you physically see and not taking the time to just get to know a person.
Oh, and this is such a huge, and that's one of the things I addressed in my book, which is why some of the nature of people's comments, I've found them quite disappointing. It's just like, you totally missed the point.
Mhm.
You totally missed the point, you know, and like, you
Yep.
know, it's also really fun for me to just sit back and watch people get my ethnicity totally wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
100% wrong. You know, 100%. And like the assumptions that they make based off of it.
Well, and
It's
why
like,
does it matter what it is, what
it
you
doesn't.
are
It's fiction. It
writing?
doesn't.
And
It's
that's the
fiction.
frustrating thing is I've read other comments of other books written like, what are their qualifications? It's like they're
Right.
a writer. That's their qualifications. Like,
Right. I
I
agree.
am just waiting for the day when all of the white women from Ohio who write about Paris, London, Germany,
yeah, what
you
are their
know, and
yeah.
wherever else in their World War I and World War II fiction, and it's like totally like crickets,
Right.
and like it's just
Right.
really.
Would anyone ask them how qualified they are to write about a culture that they don't know anything about, that they've never been to?
People also don't understand that there is, first of all, you can't always tell somebody's entire ethnicity from looking at them.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
second, there is a difference between ethnicity and culture.
Agreed.
Just because you know or you think you know somebody's ethnicity, it doesn't mean you know what their cultural experiences
That
have
too.
been.
Right.
That's bold and wrong.
Yep.
You know, like I have a friend who's 100% Mexican.
Mhm.
She grew up in China,
Mm.
Beijing.
See? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and saying that's hard because now they have an accent, and then when they're just trying to talk, then they get looked out and shunned. Like, how
People
dare
give
you?
her
You're
so
being
much
rude.
crap. Yeah. And it's like, no, you're Mexican. You should, that's your culture. And she's like, yes and no.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in Mexico. I grew up in China. Like, she identifies very strongly with Chinese culture. She's not like saying she's Chinese.
Right.
Right. But like, I just think it's not so black and white as people always want to make it. Like, you're this color, so you should write about this. Like, it's just not, there's so many layers that aren't encompassed in that conversation.
Yep. I totally agree.
I don't know.
But like I said, I don't lose sleep over those people. The majority of the reactions to the book have been really positive, and I've actually had several people, a lot of people of color, a lot of mixed race people, mostly girls, reach out to me and thank me for writing this book. So I feel that I'm on the right track. I'm always learning. I'm always growing as an author. I am not perfect, but at the end of the day, I have to tell the stories that are on my heart, where it's not going to work out.
Absolutely. And like you said, the whole point of what you do in your craft is writing something that makes you happy. You feel that you got that story out and you are well with it. If people perceive it the same, great. And if they don't, then they don't. And that's okay. you did your part and you got that out there, and you got a lot of women like us that love it, girl.
Oh my God. And people need to remember that it's fiction, you know, and
It's not real.
like you didn't do your.
I think you want it so bad though to be real. Like you just want certain parts to be real so bad because you connect so much with the characters.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you know, like that's my job. Like I at the end of the day, like I am an artist. It's different than somebody who maybe does like a painting or something. Maybe people don't always think of writing as art, but it is. It's not just like me sitting down and writing a confessional or an autobiography, right? And I would also like to point out, I think that there's some misogyny in the water when we automatically assume that something written by a woman has to be like a diary entry as opposed to like a crafted work of art.
Yeah. And
does anybody go around policing, you know, all the millions of white guys who write about people launching themselves out of planes and helicopters and, you know, everything else, and writing about, you know, women who like examine their breasts in the mirror for 20 minutes because, you know, we do that every morning.
Every
morning. Just got to make sure they're still there.
Right. Every morning. Yeah. I mean, what
research and like, you know, people just take it as like they're writers and that's what they do. And they don't sit there and go, oh, have you personally jumped out of a plane?
Thank you.
Yeah, what qualifies you to write that?
Like, and I've talked about this before. When women write things, people feel a lot more entitled to dig into their business because I had a friend who wrote a novel, and in it there's a character who has a miscarriage, and she has told me that she has had people straight up ask her, like, "Oh, but have you personally had a miscarriage? Like, should you be writing about that?"
They don't ask, and they don't ask that of actors.
They don't either. No, no, but some people do like dislike actors because they play characters. Some people just they really seem to struggle with the distinction between artist and art. You know, just because I write a character who's awful does not mean that I'm condoning that kind of behavior. And then also I write historical fiction, which means it's set in the past. So the problematic police need to just get a day job.
Yeah.
Hello.
Like, sitting here talking about how, well, Noah's courting style was a little bit aggressive. It's 1961. Right. What do you want him to do? Be like, hey, I really want to respect your boundaries. And, you know, if it's not a yes, it's a no. Like, this is 2020 dialogue.
Yeah. Right.
You know, it wouldn't make any sense. Like, he's a sweet guy, right? But he's a product of his time.
Okay. Yeah.
And in the 60s, if you liked a woman, it was not actually considered inappropriate to pursue her aggressively.
Right.
In fact, a lot of women apparently seem to think it was romantic. That's not really my cup of tea.
Yeah. Well, they were trying to bag him up.
I mean, the women back then too weren't allowed to just throw themselves out either. So, you know,
he had to do all the work. It was considered unseemly and improper for a woman to make any kind of move, and
so they have to like make sure, like, is she really saying no? Because like she's supposed to say no,
and you're also there's this like this crap where you're supposed to make yourself unattainable.
Yep.
I don't have time for this. I'm terrible. I don't flirt. I don't have the social skills to flirt. Sure. My whole thing is like, I like your face. Do you like my face?
You're right.
Do you play board games? Do you like opera?
Made that sound really sultry. Just
I mean, I'm over here thinking I do like your face and I love board games.
Yeah. Do you want to put our faces together?
Do you want to go in on the game of life? Like,
that's a good one. That's
perfect. Oh my God, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna die single, but I'm gonna use that.
Oh hell
if
no!
It works, you have to come back.
Yeah. If he comes back with the board game and it's the game
that's
of life.
how Houston called me up one day, stole my phone number. He was like, "Can I come over?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. You want to play Candyland?" And he was like, "Sure."
I love
that's very romantic.
And I'm like, "Is he really going to play Candyland with me?" And he did.
Yes, he did.
Oh my God, I'm not a very I struggle when it comes to expressing like my emotions verbally sometimes, which
Or
is
your
why I'm a
personal-
writer and not a talker. Like I'm pretty quiet when I'm not in interviews. So, but you know, writing is great though, because you can, like Alice is so fun and so bubbly and confident and irreverent. And I am not like that. I second guess everything I do. And it's really fun to put yourself in the mindset of a character who's like, I'm fabulous and I'm hot and everybody likes me, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
It's nice.
talking about looking at herself in the mirror after having her kids, and she still had her
She's
body
like, I'm still
and her
hot.
hair, and I'm like, F
Right.
you, Alice.
Right.
Next,
But I
next
feel like I
page.
had friends like that. I was like, oh, she's one of those people.
One of those.
You got
You know,
hair
like
and
I
shit.
said,
I like that about her. I thought that was great, and I think
No,
it's
I mean, I was like, I'm just saying, like, I had friends I could just bounce back and be like,
Right.
la di da. I'm like,
yeah, you know, I
this friend.
think
Great for them.
again, like Alice is like a flawed character, and I try to make my characters endearingly flawed in a way
Yeah.
I
because
see it.
nobody is perfect, and we all have
Yeah.
our weird quirks. I mean, I organize everything. That could easily drive somebody who's not used to that kind of thing crazy. Cause like my kitchen, I have like, first of all, I make a lot of desi food, so I have like 5 million spices, and they're all labeled with a label gun, and it is so soothing to my compulsive nature. But I dated a guy who was like, "You're really weird for labeling things. Like, I don't know. Are you gonna try to label me?"
Not anymore.
I'd be like,
like,
yeah,
really
label
good to
you,
organize-
get
Label you
out,
as in get out of here.
right? Label you bye.
And I was like,
Shit.
it's like, I want a girl who's just a little bit more laid back. And I'm like, the way that I organize my kitchen keeps me laid back.
Right? Yeah.
That's the part that
Girl,
yeah.
yes.
Yes. If it's not organized, you want to see me not laid back, because I have that mode.
Right.
Rearranged my spices.
Oh,
Well, he'd be that fool that would end up putting red chili instead of paprika because his spices ain't labeled.
First of all, he was the whitest of white boys, and he probably wouldn't have known what to do with a single one of my spices. He probably would have put kosher salt in my biryani. I mean, I just like, I can't.
Oh, see, that's your red flag right there.
no. See,
You know,
if
what?
it's beyond
See,
salt and pepper,
But
he's
it's
already.
so weird. I have like
Well,
a
pepper is
history.
probably spicy for him.
I'm definitely a Timothy Chalamet kind of girl. I have a history of dating pasty white boys who look like the next winter could carry them away.
Oh my
I don't know why,
I
but
love
I
it.
do.
Oh my goodness.
That's weirdly who likes me. Maybe it's like opposites attract or whatever, but like pretty much every time I get a guy, you know, who's really interested in me, he's like pale as the driven snow.
Oh, here. We have a,
Maybe
we have a
because
book.
he's used to, vanilla, and he's a little sick of it.
Wait, did we
I
have
don't
other-
know.
We didn't
We
get
do.
to-
I was just waiting for to
Uh-oh.
break to pop them.
Pop up more questions. Oh my god! Like I said, we take over.
More questions. Yes.
Okay,
More
I'm gonna
questions.
go. I'm gonna scroll way up.
Oh, there was
this
some
one
up
is
there.
This is from Misty.
Here we go.
Yeah, I
She's
do.
one of our new
Again.
ladies.
Yeah, so spring and summers, as of moving forward, I will not be in the United States for the most part. I will be in Japan. I have spent time there in the past, but I'm looking to up the amount of time that I'm spending there. I'm kind of at the drawing board with a book set in Osaka, and so I'm going to try to spend as much time there as possible.
Is that related to anything of this?
Maybe.
Oh,
I mean, that's one of our questions.
Does it take place before, after, or during?
After. And only maybe, like I said, at the drawing board. I don't think that every idea has to turn into a book.
No.
Right.
So it's my job to be really brutally honest with myself about whether or not there's enough there for a book.
Right.
So we will have to see.
I just want to
write
say,
a little short story just for us. Like,
yeah, there's
just-
like a little short
Oh,
story I would
blog.
love.
Oh, bitches,
What-
short
blog
story.
side?
Like,
Yes.
I thought so when Akira and Nori were arguing, and he was saying, or she was thinking like, you don't know or you don't see it, and he's like, I see you. I was like, I've loved to like read his
point of view more.
like his part up into that, like we have her side and how she got there. I just thought it'd be so cool. I'm just putting out my hopes and dreams right now, but we can move on to the next question.
I liked
the next question
we got of his. Yeah.
All right. The next one is from Nina.
Oh,
I'm tired of you to choose.
you know, this is like, maybe I have just like what I've been through in my life. I have a pretty high bar for what is considered tragic. So like when people came back to me, like tears streaming down their face, how could you do this? How could you write this? I'm like, I don't know. I guess I just had all of this inside of me, right? And I think maybe like it needed to come out.
Right.
So I didn't sit down and think I'm gonna write a really sad book. That's kind of just what came out.
That was a character, and that's what happened.
Yeah, but like I think that even though adversity is a huge theme in the novel, I think one thing I hope people take away from this is about snatching those pockets of joy. You know, and it's about finding. I mean, Nori is always finding something to be happy about. Like always, it's the small. Yeah, and it's the smallest things, right? Like the sound of the rain keeps her going. And
oh my God. When you wrote that piece about how the sound of the rain made her feel like she wasn't alone, like it reminded her that she wasn't completely, I died. I was like, I'm done.
Yes.
Yeah, that we mentioned that in one of our lives. That sentence right there got me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Man.
Oh, my goodness. Damn, girl, you're good.
I think, oh, thank you. You're sweet. I think another one that got to people was she had forgotten the smell of grass.
Yes.
Yeah, when she goes outside and people were like, that is something that you just totally take for granted.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, and when I was really, really depressed, like shortly after college, I like didn't go outside for maybe 3 weeks. Like it was bad. I was like a gross waif who had to like set an alarm to remind myself to take showers.
Right.
And I remember going outside for the first time and it had just rained. And the world was just green and glistening and dewy.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I've been missing all this. And this is all here.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of what's happened and regardless of what's going to happen, this is still going to be here.
Yeah.
So finding a connection to whatever joy is available to you is a survival skill.
Yeah.
I agree. It's amazing you put it that way too, because I think that, you know, like we all loved the little bits of joy that she found in this story. And, you know, when any one of us goes through those times in our life where we're thinking like, this is it. This is just going to be the end of it because there is nothing more I can do at this point. Or I don't think that this is the thing that I can get myself through anymore. And then you find that little bit and it could be something so simple and so sweet. And you find that it's like, it's always there for you when you allow yourself to have it.
Yeah.
And sometimes we withhold those little joys because we think that maybe we don't deserve it or, you know, that they aren't there for us. But when we realize that they are and that we do, we're able to really make that like kind of step forward, you know, to over that threshold. I loved that about this character. And I love that, you know, you went through your own, you know, trials and got through them. And I think that obviously that helped you write her in such a more, you know, personal way.
I think that there's always bits and pieces of myself in all of my characters. And like, none of them are me exactly. But like Nori got my insecurity and my shyness
Mhm.
and, my curiosity. And Alice got my snark and my wit.
Loved.
I love Alice. She's fun. And Akira got my cynicism.
Oh, wow.
And my extremely rigid set of expectations for myself. I am a huge perfectionist.
Aww.
Which that's a bad trait to have in this industry, because no matter how good you are, some people will hate you.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So, I'm like working on shedding that. Because this is not an objective thing. It's a very subjective thing.
Right.
Mhm.
It's not like you get all the questions right, you get your 100, and you are validated for 5 seconds before another gaping pit opens up in your belly.
Right.
And you have to figure out a way to fill it again. Like, you'll never be happy as a writer if you're waiting for 100% approval rate, because you'll never get one.
Nope.
So you've got to find other ways.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like, for me, like, I'm a New York Times bestseller. How cool is that?
That's
Right?
so amazing.
I'm not even 30. And regardless of how much Kathy hates my book, she can never take that away from me.
No, she can't.
So
No. Your success is enough to really say to haters, like, I've done it. Like, I'm here and this is mine. It's not yours.
Well, I feel like it's sometimes the haters hate because they're mad at themselves, and they gotta put that on somebody else.
I think everybody is totally entitled to not like books. And to me, there's a difference between, like, I didn't like this book because of X, Y, and Z. I just didn't connect with the characters. The writing didn't grab me, whatever. And then the people who really kind of dig in.
Yeah.
And I don't read my reviews, a very strict policy, but I do occasionally read some reviews for other books that I liked or didn't like. And some of these comments, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You told me way more about you than you did about this book.
Oh,
like,
yes.
What?
Yeah.
I don't have that much time in my day
to
set aside and write like these like paragraphs long, just like
they write short stories about it.
Scathing reviews.
Right.
And I'm just like, I feel like there's never a book that I can't say anything nice about.
But you know what? At the end of the day, New York bestseller, a Good Morning America book club choice, none of that even matters. If I wrote something and I got to see it like this, printed and being I'm done. I won. I don't even care. Buy my mom. Buy a copy. That's the only copy I won.
I did win, and I didn't win because I made the New York Times bestseller list. And I didn't win because it was a Good Morning America pick, and it was a Malala pick, and it was all these other fantastically amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
I won because I didn't give up.
Yeah.
That's why I won.
Yeah.
Girl, I got my recipe published in a corporate cookbook at my old job, and I thought I was like the next Martha Stewart. I was like, Martha, what you got on me? Had my little recipe published.
But you could be whatever goals you set for yourself. That's what success is. And I'm a huge goalpost mover.
Yeah.
And I'm recovering from that because, for me, first it was I want to finish it. And then it was I have to get an agent. And then I want to get published. And then it was published. And I started stalking the sales every week. And finally, I had to sit down and look in the mirror and be like, Asha, listen, you're 26. You got to be happy sometime before you die.
Yeah.
You're going to be happy now. Yeah. Like, I had a heart-to-heart with myself.
You sound like 4 women that I know. Okay? Sound like 4 women with a small business that I know.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Jessica, thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
Misty says, I think people forget it's fiction, right? When it comes to reviews. It's interesting, when we pick books, a lot of the time we do it based on both good and bad reviews. And sometimes it helps us determine whether or not it's going to be fit for, our book club and stuff. But ultimately, we decide whether or not it's a story that we want to, kind of dive into. And so obviously Dominique did such a great job picking this one because
Yes.
it is such an incredible story that I will absolutely never forget. These characters, I love the good parts, the bad parts, the sad parts, the joy, like all of it from beginning to end. It was just every week I was like, oh, I can't wait to read. Oh my gosh, I finally get to see what's happening next, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so glad you guys liked it, and I'm so glad you guys picked it. I'm always discouraged when I see people say, like, I read a negative review, so I'm not going to read this book.
Right.
How do you know
that shouldn't stop everyone.
one person's opinion, like, I mean, that's like, it's like guys, right? Isn't it? Like, my friends have cried over some guys, and I look at their picture, and I'm like, girl, what? You cried over this man?
Like this one? This one?
Why? But I'm sure they would say the same thing about
Right?
me.
You're like, girl, I hope you had a good personality.
Line of ex-Timothy Chalamet. So, you know, like, it's so subjective. Liking a book is kind of like finding someone physically attractive. Two people are going to have two very different opinions about the exact same thing.
Right. Right.
You know, everybody has a type, right? So everybody has a type when it comes to books.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why there's so many.
Some people might not like it, but I've never not read a book because I read a negative review. That it just I don't work that way.
That's good.
But that's why I love this book club, because it definitely brings us out of our normal genre of what we like to read. Like, this is something that myself, I probably never would have picked up off a shelf. Like, it wouldn't have spoke to me like some other things I like to read, but I'm so glad that I was introduced to it, because it is definitely one of my top 10. Like, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great job.
I'm so glad you liked it. Thank you.
We get to Rebecca's question.
We're farther up. We went back.
Oh.
Hold on. Let's pop up this one. Katrina asks,
yeah,
would Maury choose to fall into her?
I knew I was going to get this one.
Why would she choose that fate for her son?
So this is the biggest moral question in the novel, right? And I think this is challenging, and I fully understand that a lot of people kind of struggle with this. So I'm going to answer a question with a question.
Right.
Does walking in someone's footsteps means that you can't walk in a different direction?
Right. Wow.
She's walking a path that has been walked before, but she's not her grandmother. She's not her mother. She's Nori. And she's been shaped by all of these life experiences in the book. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think her two primary concerns now are Akira and his legacy and the future of her son.
Right.
She initially struggles with motherhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Akiko tells her, oh, don't feel bad because your grandmother never went to the nursery either. Like, and then she was like, oh, and that turned out great, didn't it? You know, so and also we have to remember, amongst the upper classes of the time, it wasn't really considered bad parenting to not spend that much time with your kid. It really wasn't even viewed as necessary. Like, if you had money and you could afford to have nannies and servants look after your kids.
It was more strange to be with your children.
Exactly.
Yes.
It wasn't abnormal. The definition of good parenting has changed a lot.
Well, even when I was in New York, I was in New York for like 3 months. Every time I went out with a kid, my daughters, like, to the park, everybody would ask me like get to the point of me being the nanny. I'm like, no.
Yeah. So I live on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, which is a pretty nice area, and I see a lot of nannies, and most people my complexion I see here are pushing little white children in strollers.
Right.
You know,
my daughter does have blue eyes, so they're like,
yeah. So which is fine, you know, but it definitely but it's changed in the sense that now, like, people actually care about being judged for having their nannies raise their kids, whereas before, it was like total normal.
Well, and the reason to have the kids was to have your legacy move on. Exactly. That was the purpose, not to.
Their they're merchandise in a way, like especially for like the elite families. Nobody ever sat down and was like, listen, do I really want to have a child? It was no, you have a child because you need a child to continue on this family, this name, this legacy, this business. And I mean, even for poor people who didn't technically have a legacy or anything to pass on, you know, you have kids because what else is the meaning of life, right? Like I've reached that age where I've started to be nagged about, oh, when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna have kids? And I'm like, potentially never.
Right.
I don't have a crystal ball.
Right.
You know, and I don't think women need to have children to be complete human beings.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Have them if you want them and you're prepared to make the appropriate sacrifices to raise them so that they don't need years of therapy to recover from you.
Well, jury's still out.
Yeah, you're not having babies. You're bringing up like people.
Exactly. And I think
Right.
too many people think about it like, I'm going to have a baby. And it's like, yeah, but they grow.
Yeah, and
then they talk.
And then what? Right. And they start talking and they start requiring a lot of emotional energy. And I worry that there's some people out in this world who are interested in procreating, but they're not interested in parenting.
Absolutely.
They want a baby. They want to pass on their genes, right? We're animals here. You know,
they want a Christmas card to send out, and they want something to post on Instagram, like we talked about. That's what that is. Yeah.
But they're not interested in the hard parts. And then my heart especially goes out to kids who are punished because they're not like what their parents would have ordered in Create a Sim, like you get to pick.
Right.
Like girls who are punished for not being born boys.
Yeah.
Which still happens.
Crazy.
You know, and kids who are gay and their parents throw them out of the house.
Right.
And it's like, you know, somebody explained it to me like this. Before you have a kid, you need to think about it this way. It's a mystery box. You have no idea what's going to be inside and you can never return it.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Like, this is not
Ooh,
like
girl.
those little...
I'm glad I didn't overthink that one because I'd have been like, nope, never mind.
I'm not like most parents find a way to love their kids no matter what, right? You know, but like some don't.
Yeah.
Some, they basically have this idea that I wanted X, Y, and Z, and you're not that, and you are a failure and a disappointment to me. And kids are smarter than people think. They're very intuitive.
Oh yeah.
They pick up on that. Like kids can tell when they're a burden to you, or when you're resentful towards them.
Yeah.
Or when you're kind of phoning it in as far as your interest in them.
I'm still overthinking. Oh, girl, yeah, you're gonna overthink forever anyway, because mine's in college and
I honestly
the oldest anyway. But
when I was younger, I was so sure I wanted kids. I wanted like 1 million kids. Yeah.
Oh,
like,
I never did.
And now I'm over here like, no, I don't know. I would have to really think about it. But I think that that's like maybe some growth and some maturity there. Is that I feel like I really should think about it and not just be like, boom, autopilot baby.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like the fact that you have, I was gonna say, but the fact that you already think that way and have those thoughts, that's already a thumbs up of, you know, it's
I mean,
the ones that
I definitely
don't
had
at all.
my kids later in life compared to most that we grew up with. I
Yeah.
had Desi and I turned 27 or 28, I think the next month after I had my son. Everyone that we went to school with, like I said, right? Looking at how everybody else is kind of changing that you grow up with, and they all had their kids out of high school or in their early 20s. But you know what? I traveled. I had fun. I partied. I enjoyed myself. I didn't have anything weighing me down.
Right.
And when it was then time to make that move, and that happened with my husband, it just felt right. I was ready for that stage of my life.
Yeah.
So same with you.
Yes.
You're doing so much with your life right now, and you're putting so much out there, which is an amazing thing that's going to have your name out there forever, right? Like you're putting that out into the world. And then you're going to get to a stage where you're like, okay, I'm ready for the next chapter. And that chapter is going to be whatever you choose for it to be.
Yeah. I never wanted to. It was so funny. I even wrote my mom a letter when I was 17 and I was like, never having kids, putting my signature to it.
Oh
Not
my God.
And then I was 21 when I met my husband and he already had a son. And so I was like, shit, am I really going to be a mom this young?
Yeah.
Kind of fell into place. You know, you find the right person and everything that you think you were never going to do can change.
Well, like, just
My
like how you write your
stepmom-
books, right?
My stepmom didn't want kids. And then she met my dad. He was divorced and he had 2 kids.
Mhm.
And she's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Aw.
I love her. Like, she's my best friend. And it's just like, you know, I'm so glad she accepted us,
Right.
you know, and she always said it's because, you know, she felt like the world had too many people in it. So if she ever did want a kid, she always thought maybe she would adopt instead of like having a biological kid. And so like that's basically what she kind of did. She got stuck with me.
Stuck, please.
Oh no, stuck. And she'll tell you she was stuck. She used to drive me to high school. She'd be like, Asha, how was your day?
No, I came out of my mama and same shit happened. She'd be like, how was your day? And I'm like,
don't talk to me.
Don't ask me about it. Don't talk to me. No,
Right.
same thing. And I got the same thing from my
It's
kids.
fine.
I come out of my body, and I will continue to get it from my other 2. And we did adopt 2 more after him. So same thing. It's gonna continue. Still gonna get it no matter what.
I put her through her paces. I put her in the acknowledgments because I was like,
yes,
Yes.
yeah. So she's a trooper for sticking it out.
That's amazing. That's
I
amazing.
used to tell my dad, like, if you get divorced, I'm going to live with her.
Right? You're
There
like,
you
"Oh,
go.
yeah, sorry.
So
That's how I feel with mine. I always tell my husband if we're not together, I'm taking all of them, and we have 6 combined. So
6.
they were coming with me. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Aw.
You're like, sorry, but I'm taking them off.
They're mine.
I feel like you can't, just because they're not a biological parent, you can't just disappear them from a kid's life.
Absolutely.
Like, if the relationship doesn't work out, you can't just say, oh, well, I'm the bio parent and you're not. Like,
Right.
she's been in my life since I'm 5 years old. I'm just supposed to not
Yeah.
Right.
see her.
Yeah, they'd be
again.
like me
That's not
trying to
right.
get rid of Adriana. She's been in my life since I was 5.
Yeah. We met in kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Oh, my novelist friend really likes that.
Ugh, kindergarten. That's where we met.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any chance Yuko dies before she can marry off Nori? And then can Nori bring Noah back into her life, please?
Please.
I'm telling you, we need a short story.
She is still in love with Noah. Some people have challenged me on whether she actually ever really did love Noah. And
Oh my
she
God.
does.
Oh no, yeah.
Much.
She
I
does
feel
love
like the
Noah.
love was there.
She loves him. Oh, Noah. God bless Noah. He's so sweet, isn't he? I feel bad for Noah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like my upset for Noah wasn't necessarily that like she just kind of up and left and sent like some letter to keep him away. It was more like, how would he have been as a parent, and would he have been able to show what a parent should be?
Young. He's like
He's
20.
young. Right.
You know, and like granted, this is the 60s. People got married at 18 and had plenty of kids by their, you know, early 20s. But I like cannot imagine having a child at 20. Actually, I'm in my late 20s now and I still can't really imagine having a child. I'm like, so you boil the water for how long?
Right.
You know, that's where I'm at.
Right.
I'm not at like wholly responsible for another human being stage.
Oh, you even do that in your 30s, girl. I'm like, my one kid is not feeling good, and I'm like, wait, I gotta give him how much medicine? Hold on.
I know.
Make sure I don't OD him on some Tylenol. Let me just...
Does it ever get easier? This crazy adulthood thing.
You just get used to the craziness.
Get accustomed to it. Because I mean, I just paid taxes, and I'm self-employed, so I have to write the IRS a check.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that was a big check.
That's not fun.
No, it's terrible. I would like some health care if anyone from the government is watching this. Can
For
you-
real. I'm the one who did all the work. What did you do?
Right?
What did you do?
I mean, just giving you all this money so you can buy a drone.
Uh,
You know, can I get some like health care, please? It's just like phoning that.
yeah,
It's
girl,
years.
same. I agree with you. I love diversity in the book. Yes, Misty.
You did an amazing job. Oh, thank you. I really tried to show, like I said, some pockets of joy. I don't like hearing people say that it just totally depressed them and that there was nothing else that they felt. So
Yeah.
I'd say this, like you were saying, she tries to find joy in every little thing. When you are feeling down and out, it's the feeling of there's no hope
yeah.
that gets people in trouble. And to
Mm.
think back at this book and remember a character like Nori, and if she can still hold on to any kind of hope,
Mm-hmm.
then hell, so can you, right? No matter what you're going through. I think that was my
You
biggest
absolutely
takeaway.
can.
Yeah.
You can. And it's important because the thing is, adversity is always going to be there. Whether it's in your face or around the corner, it's there.
Yeah.
So you can't avoid it. And like the goal in life is not to avoid pain. It's to master the pain.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's one thing that I'm on a continuous growth journey, and I'm always attempting to challenge myself as a writer and as a person. Like, what did I learn from this? And what can I do better next time? And 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old me, idiot.
God, same.
It's so dumb and sweet, really sweet, but so stupid. Oh my God. And no sense of self-preservation. Set myself on fire to keep other people warm kind of girl.
For real. Should not be alive right now.
I don't know how
we've talked about that.
And honestly, sometimes I just take a minute and I stop and I go, oh my God, not only are you alive, but you're kicking ass.
Yeah, for real.
So, I know it's Tuesday and you've got all this work to do and your hair looks like crap and you're not feeling the best today, but just remember that sometimes it helps to look back on how far you've come instead of fussing over the fact that you don't have everything you've ever wanted yet.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You'll get there.
Still got plenty of time ahead. I mean,
yeah, I hope so.
You look back, it's there's only been a few years past, but now we still got plenty more ahead to do with.
Yeah, and I feel like COVID too has given me such a sense of appreciation for the little things.
I agree.
And it's I am healthy. I am able to support myself doing something that I love, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And I am, I have things to hope for. And there was times in my life when I really didn't think I had anything to look forward to or hope for, which maybe sounds kind of silly coming from somebody as young as I am, but
not at all.
No.
Nope.
Because age doesn't make a difference in someone's disparity. It doesn't, you are no less valid in your feelings because you feel that way at 18 than you do if you were 50.
I agree.
Everybody's life and experiences are different, and what you go through at what point in your life are all different.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't ever take that away from yourself. That goes out to anybody. It does not matter, and it does not make you should never feel like your feelings are less than due to your age. Yeah. I haven't been through enough to be feeling like this. No, that's not true. And if you feel that way, it's for a reason. And there are ways and people to help hopefully get you out of that.
Yeah.
And that's why I said the hope, right? When you have a little bit of hope, it goes a long way. It's when you feel that hope is not there that it can get people into trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm a huge believer in, I really encourage people to be open about their mental and emotional health and well-being. And I know everybody makes fun of Gen Z, but Gen Z is not ashamed
No.
Yeah.
They're
Agreed.
talking about it. They're having these conversations.
Right.
Like they're sitting up there on TikTok, talking about like how to talk to your parents when they're manifesting their wounded inner child or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's good. And we're millennials. So like, I guess the younger millennials, people my age, let's say like 25 to 30.
Right.
We're all sat around looking back on our childhoods with our newfound like emotional maturity and like years of therapy under our belt, and looking back and going, oh my God, like our parents probably could have benefited from some therapy.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so what I'm really
Absolutely.
hoping is that the cycles will start changing once we start having these conversations, because unhealed people having kids, it just perpetuates the same stuff.
Oh yeah.
And like, if anybody ever gives you crap about, oh, well, you're just sensitive or whatever, like, why do you need to, a lot of people are in therapy because their parents were supposed to be there and didn't go.
Yeah.
So that's a mic drop. Don't let anybody shame you for handling your business. Right. And I agree, everybody should go to therapy. And
therapists go to therapy. Did you know that?
Yes, they do. And
yes.
like that, it doesn't make you crazy. Are you dying every time you go to the doctor?
Yeah.
Well, see, people
No, go ahead. That's the mentality, is that, someone who needs therapy or sees a therapist is crazy.
Yeah.
And those two are not one and the same. They're completely different from each other.
It's so funny to me because, the people I know who go to therapy are far more functional and put together than the people who don't. And who want to sit around and talk nonsense.
Right. Well, these bitches here are my therapy. This book club is my therapy. It helps me get through like my shit. You know what I mean? And I think that we all just need to find like our own kind of therapy. If it's not talking to a stranger, which I am still 100% for and have suggested many people do. But for me, this is mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's like different forms. I mean, for me, my writing is definitely hugely therapeutic. Right. But I also value the input of like a trained professional who knows how trauma responses work.
Different. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's important to allow yourself to be more than a symptom of what has hurt you.
Right.
You are holding yourself back from your full potential as a human being.
Right.
Until you heal. Yeah. And a lot of people avoid the healing because they don't want to acknowledge things. And because some of us feel like we need permission from other people. Nobody else has to acknowledge your trauma for you to heal from it. Right. Do not sit around waiting, especially, God, for the love of God, don't sit around waiting for the people who traumatized you to acknowledge your trauma.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a big mistake that people make.
The validation. Right.
The validation. Like, you're sitting around waiting for somebody who, was abusive to acknowledge, by the way, I was abusive and you should go get like therapy for the ramifications.
Right. I'm currently working on the fact that I abused you and you should get therapy.
No, it doesn't work like that. Even if other people think it's stupid, like nobody else has to get it. It's between you and them.
Right.
Well, I think just the term mental health is very taboo to some people still.
It is.
And they think
so now, thank goodness, but we still have so much work to do there.
We do. And we have a lot of work to do, particularly when it comes to people of color.
I agree.
It's still it's a lot more taboo amongst communities of color to talk about mental health. There's a lot of what you'll hear very frequently is therapy is for white people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or those kinds of conversations are for white people. And, like.
Or people who feel entitled.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just like, I didn't realize that, it's just difficult. But I'm really thankful to see the younger generation is moving away from this.
Right.
And, a lot of older people, you tell them to go to therapy and they think that you're accusing them of being a raving lunatic
Right.
who
What do you mean?
scream-
Something's wrong with me?
Right, who screams in the middle of the street, you know,
Right.
and like is preaching about the end of days
Right.
and
Right.
robot chickens and everything else. And it's not
Yeah.
like
Right.
a lot
But
of
again,
what you learn, right?
you're-
A lot of what you learn in therapy is just coping mechanisms.
Right.
Right.
It's
see, you
never
get those
bad
comments-
to be more equipped to
No.
cope.
And you get those comments from people, like you said, the parents, right? These are people that grew up in the 50s, in the 60s, where you bottled that up. You don't show
Well,
people
and
that.
they
That's
didn't
not
have
the face that you put out there,
Yeah.
right? You
Don't air your
show
dirty
people that
laundry.
you were a good housewife and that your house was kept and you made. They didn't have Instagram, but boy, they had other ways of showing, right? When people came to their house or they had their little house parties or however they projected it. And so that's just how they then move it on down the line. So like you said,
Right.
hopefully those habits do start to break, which we're beginning to see now.
You formed unhealthy habits and you just pass them right on down.
Right.
And, you know, I also think people don't necessarily, and I touch on this in the book, like with Psycho's character. She's not a bad person, but she's a bad mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not always like 100%, you know, they don't always go together. I
Mhm.
think that's important. Like, you can be decent in some capacities and really, really lacking in others.
Right. But it
Yeah.
also was important for us to see that like she was a human being and
Yeah,
that
she was.
had this life before she became a mom that she thought was headed in a different direction.
Yeah.
And when that direction shifted, and not to mention her history with her own mom, who now, is Nori's abuser. It's just, perpetuating the cycle. But also, she was a different person before. And, things changed. And
She's really unhappy.
right. And she shows herself.
She is in this loveless arranged marriage and she's not happy. And she has this affair because she's desperately seeking true love and human connection. And she's not a bad person for that.
Mhm.
You know, but the series of events that follow, not so well.
Oh yeah, that was heartbreaking.
You know, right. But again, I think there is no right or wrong in this book. There are only choices that people make from different positions and perspectives, and the chips kind of fall where they do.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so I hope that one of the things people can take away from this is that you never know the ripple effect that your choices are going to have. So try to be mindful.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But also, you can't hold yourself back from ever making any decision ever. You have to take chances in life. You are going to fail.
Right.
Failure is a much better teacher than success, though.
Mm-hmm.
So fail away.
Yeah. If it just stays easy, you don't really have a
Why
lot.
do you think I'm so successful now? It's because prior to this, I was just a series of like failures in my like interpersonal relationships mainly. But I mean, I feel like I learned a lot from those breakdowns, and I learned a lot about myself, and I learned what I realistically want and what I can realistically offer.
Right. And we are afforded that liberty now, whereas this character and the generations above her, including her grandmother, did not have that.
Yes, very true.
So, well, speaking of the path, did you actually keep Nori on the same path from the get-go, or did it change as time went and you kept writing?
No, the ending was always the ending.
Okay.
Yeah, it was always going to end that way. And I know I get asked a lot, like, oh, did you consider like a happier ending? And I'm like, no.
This was her ending.
This was the ending. This is the ending. And I'm sorry if, not everybody likes that. I get not everybody liking it, but this is the ending. And I think it's the right ending for this kind of story, because this is not a fairy tale.
I was about to say that there's fairy tales and then there's things that
life.
Yeah.
And then there's life. Yeah.
And then I think this is, the ending is, to me, is bittersweet. I'm not going to tell anyone else how to feel about it, but I think that there's power in in the fact that this girl who was powerless and despised is stepping into a position of power.
I agree.
That's how I
Yes, there is
felt.
sacrifice involved with that. Yes,
Right.
there's going to be some potential challenges and difficulties and moral gray areas, but
And that's been like life in general.
Yeah. But I agree. She finally was given a choice.
Yeah.
And it is a major one. And it is one that will have a ripple effect for generations to come based on how she goes forth from this point. And I think that that's obviously, would we all love to hear more about what happens after and what her son's life turns out to be?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, we would. But where you ended it, I don't feel like we have to have it. It's just a want, like a really,
Right.
really deep want.
We've invested in these characters and we just kind of like,
It's like
You
the
know, it's
ending of like
something-
a show season, and I just want the next season to start. Like, let's go.
it's something that I can absolutely consider.
Yeah.
I can't promise 100% that I will write a sequel, but I do love these characters, and I do have ideas in my head for their future and where they end up and what they become.
well,
Yay. Hopefully we one day get to read them. But if we don't, thank you so much for this story.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you for reading it.
This one alone, I mean, just
Yes.
with beginning to end. I mean, every single chapter, every single, switch in point of view just took us somewhere different. And we got to just feel so many different emotions from so many different people. And you fall for these characters. They're easy to love and easier to hate in some. And then to understand that, they had a life before that turned them into this person. And what they do with that life, it's gosh.
thank you. Thank you
Good,
for
girl.
writing it.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I'm gonna pop this comment up.
Oh,
Rebecca.
yeah. Let's see a comment
Should
here.
would you like to do a this or that before you go?
Yes.
Either this or that real quick?
Yeah, we have this.
Oh, I like that. I like the
Okay.
take that she didn't need to find her perfect Prince Charming and ride off into the sunset with him to be
Yes.
whole.
Yeah.
That's actually a nice take.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
That shows
I
a
like
lot of
that.
strength on her part.
I feel like she chose herself and this time her child, which is different.
Yes. So I think motherhood is her new challenge, right? And it's difficult to give what you've never received. It's
Yes.
difficult to give that good, healthy maternal love when you never got it.
Yeah, I think her brother taught her a lot of that, though, and I think that alone is going to
Do I sense some violin lessons
Right.
Yes.
in the
Oh.
future?
Now, hold on a second.
Some duets.
Right before we finish this, I need to say it. Someday I will tell you about your name, but he's not named. Is that his last name or his first name that she's going to tell him about?
So when she's talking to
Her baby.
and she says, "Someday I will tell you about your name."
Yeah.
Notice how right after she has given birth, it mentions how she and Akiko had discussed names.
Right.
They had only discussed girls' names.
Yes.
They had never discussed boys' names because there was no need.
Right.
And so I think that only has one meaning.
Her
The
Kyoto
baby's name
son.
is Akira.
Yes. Her Kyoto
Yes.
son. I knew it, and I was like, I loved even more that you never said it in this story. I was like, oh my God, it's his name, and I know it.
Yeah,
Really
some
not
people
gonna-
were like, "Wait, what's his name?" And I'm like,
No.
Yeah.
Was it really that difficult? Literally, she mentions it in her in between sequence where she's talking to him, and she finally feels his burning sun on her and his warmth, and then we get that right at the end, and it's like, oh my God, I knew it. Oh, I knew it. That's his name. Oh, thank
So
goodness.
the last line in the book is probably my favorite line, and it was in these rare moments that she felt it, the burning light of her Kyoto sun.
Yeah. Oh my God. So good, girl.
I love that line, and I very rarely kind of tap, but tap.
Girl.
I love that line.
That was good. I thought it was because her family had been cursed not to have boys. Didn't pick up on it being Akira. Aw.
Yeah, so that is the other thing. She has a boy.
Yeah.
She has a healthy male child, and her grandmother is happy about that because she thinks that this means that this curse is finally broken, because this is a long line of girls, right? Like Yuko had brothers who did not survive to adulthood, and then she never had any surviving male children. She had one daughter.
Right.
And so her daughter had Akira and Nori.
Mhm.
But Akira, you know, sad.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so well written.
Oh my God.
I was reading about, and it was right after they had that beautiful moment together, and I was like, my heart was.
And I'm reading, and I could picture. It was just playing as I read it. It was playing.
I got big screen vibes, girl. I'm just saying.
Oh, we should have done that.
We usually
we
don't
do
it.
Yeah.
I think that Nori is gonna get there in the end and be a good mom. But I also think it would be really unrealistic for me to have her just magically bippity boppity boop into some like, oh my God, I love being a mom. This is so great.
It'll be challenging.
I've got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, girl.
And a lot of second guessing.
Movie vibes. I'm just kidding. I'm waiting. You gonna sell it to the big screen? I want a screenplay.
A movie?
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. You never thought.
Oh, she's thought about it, girl. Look it.
Or a series.
Get on life
stretches out longer.
I am sworn to secrecy.
Okay. So since you're sworn to secrecy, we can ask you, when you're writing, do you have like maybe a picture of a person or an actor or actress like kind of in your head to help you along with these characters?
That is so difficult because like this is a very like diverse cast.
Right.
And Hollywood is not particularly diverse. So the casting would be interesting for this project.
Mm-hmm.
But in my head, I have like any excuse to be in the same room as Timothy Chalamet. So like he could be
Noah.
Yeah, he could totally be Noah, but I think he's busy. He's been in like everything.
Oh, but he would be such a good little like, and it's such a small like little portion when you're reading it, but on a big screen, like he would definitely be a.
I think there's a lot of actors I could see as Noah. All of them very cute.
Yeah.
Like wholesome.
Right.
Would be great, you know. And I think, I could see a lot of actresses for Alice. I think the challenge would be Akira and Nori. And they would be so important, right? Because they're just like the heart of the story. Their relationship has to come across. It has to leap off the screen.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's always been the beating heart of this book is the sibling dynamic between them.
I agree.
So, you know, we will see. But
who would be your Akira, right? Like
he has big shoes to fill.
I cannot answer that because most of the actors that I like who fit that role are older.
I
need like I would need a young guy for Akira. So, but I'm sure there's one out there. And like one thing, if they ever make my books into, you know, television, movies, whatever, like at least I can open up roles for actors of color because it's a hard thing. Yeah. And I want to see more people of color as leading ladies and leading men.
Yeah. And this is the story to do something like that with, because, you know, like everyone agrees here that the diversity is here, and you are going to combine not only like one culture with another, but also different ethnicities and then mixing them. And it would be such a dream to see something like that, really. But Desiree's over here trying to cast everyone.
I am. He is a sexy.
So Rebecca just said something. I do picture him, but
he is a sexy man.
Ooh.
His name is Charles Melton.
Oh, I've seen him before. You could like.
I'm Melton.
cut
Yeah, I ain't mad
glass
at him.
with that jaw and those cheekbones.
I do picture who Rebecca said a lot more.
Right?
He's very cute.
Good, yeah. I just love it. Love it.
I just honestly like Akira has to be hot. Let's be honest. You know, because I in my head I picture him as like maybe a little too buff to be a teenage boy.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have to have his shirt off. Here.
Look at for Nori, an adult
Wait.
Nori.
She's so cute.
Oh,
Oh, she's
See?
adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know, right? Big yum.
Oh.
You guys are very distracting.
Right.
Well,
Okay, let's do our this or that.
okay. This or that, we're going to go quick. Anything that you want to stop and elaborate on, you go right on ahead. Just cut me off and I will stop so you can go on. Okay. So first of all, this or that, tea or coffee?
Tea. I don't drink coffee.
Ooh.
Only tea. I have a very extensive tea collection. Every time one of my aunties goes to India, she brings me back all of this tea. I don't drink supermarket tea. I'm very
I was going to say, yeah,
snobby about my tea.
You know what? We will keep you in mind when Desiree starts her tea business.
Oh, yeah.
she's
Ooh.
working on.
her tea
Oh.
bag.
Fantastic.
It's an X-rated tea business, but
It's just under
X-rated tea
talks.
business?
It's not
Oh my,
It's like a scrotum tea bag is what we found.
disgusting. I know.
Wow.
We didn't know they created them. We looked them up. It's apparently a thing.
So you
Apparently a
get
thing.
your tea bags.
He's
Good.
perfect.
Look
Hold
at
up.
her face.
Interruption.
She's like, no, I don't buy that kind of tea.
we had a reader tell her that
Oh
she'd
my
be
gosh.
doing this
Speaking of
adventure.
tea, I'm
I have to
thirsty.
tell you, that's very creative. I've never
Yeah.
associated those two things before.
And every
Oh,
time
God.
you drink tea, it's gonna.
You're going to think of me every single time.
It's
what's
gonna like
gonna
Fix a
happen.
Lot does.
Yeah.
You need to see her hottie.
So this guy, Ross Butler, he was in 13 Reasons Why.
Okay.
But like he could totally be Akira because he's younger.
He's the right.
He's super
Yeah.
cute. I watched that show. Oh, I
Yeah.
remember him. Yeah.
I loved him in that show.
That was a good show.
I loved him. Okay, next, hot or cold weather?
Cold.
Morning person or night owl?
Oh, night owl. Don't talk to me before 11 a.m. and I'm usually up until 5.
Oh,
All right, city or country?
City.
Ooh, I think it's the first one.
yeah.
I love it. Paperback, hardcover, or ebook?
Hardcover. I like
Yeah.
to feel the firmness of the book in my lap.
Yeah. Okay, pencil or pen?
Pen. I don't like the scratching sounds that pencil makes on paper.
When you say that,
It
like,
really, I'm so sensitive to pitch and like it hits my ear wrong. I don't like it.
Girl, yes. Oh my God. When I try and explain, like, that sound is really, there's a lot of them, but I get it. Okay. Since it was just Thanksgiving, pumpkin pie or apple pie?
Pumpkin.
Mm.
I love pumpkin pie. I know that's like a semi-controversial opinion, but I love pumpkin pie.
No, you can,
Love
apple pie can
pumpkin
suck
pie.
it. So,
Oh my
Uh,
god.
What's that crazy about? I really like apple crisp, but I don't like
Yes.
apple pie
I like
as much.
apple-
I think
See,
it's
I like
the-
Dutch apple with the crumble top.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, the crumbly. That's to me what makes it good is like that like
Yes.
streusel type of
Yes.
texture. That's where it's at. Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. Breakfast or dinner?
Dinner. I don't usually eat breakfast.
She
Read
doesn't
it.
wake up till noon, girl.
I she had brunch. She wakes up.
No,
for
I wake up.
every day.
No, I'm up, but I'm just like not very
Apple pie can suck it. Exactly.
I'm up, but I'm not really
You're-
like on until
Yeah,
I have
active.
my chai.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remind me, I got to tell you. Hold on. Remind me, I got to tell you about a chai drink from Starbucks. Okay, go. Continue.
Oh, okay. Read in bed or read on the couch?
Couch.
Fireplace or bonfire?
Fireplace. I'm too clumsy to be anywhere near a bonfire.
Library or bookstore?
Bookstore.
And host Thanksgiving or bring your favorite dish to one?
Neither. I hate Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Get it, girl.
But I
sound like my
would bring
husband.
some. First of all, I live in Manhattan, so nobody hosts Thanksgiving here. There's no space.
That's true.
So, but it's great. It's like fodder for my antisocial soul. No one even expects an invitation over to my one bedroom. You're not gonna get it. No.
I love it.
And then, but I would bring something. I never show up empty-handed. One of my signatures is a blueberry pie, which is not technically seasonal for Thanksgiving, but I could also I made a pumpkin pie for a good friend of mine who was feeling sick the other day. Aww. I brought her pumpkin pie, and she said it was pretty edible.
Pretty edible.
So,
that's bomb.
She said it was very good.
Well, there you go. That's good. Well, cool. And is your pumpkin pie suffocated in whipped cream or all along?
No, I just made the pie. I figured she could put whatever she wanted to on it.
How about when you eat yours?
No, when you eat it, yeah. When you eat it.
Oh, I like it with whipped cream.
Okay.
Yeah, but not too much, just a little bit. I like to actually taste the pie.
Yeah.
So I ground my own pumpkin spice. I have a spice grinder. So I took whole spices and I ground a mixture to make a pumpkin pie spice. And dare I say it was quite tasty.
It's probably better than just scooping it out of the thing. So
yeah, it's fresher. So whole spices are always fresher than like the store-bought ground spices. So I try to do that whenever I have the energy and the time.
Ooh.
You can get a spice grinder on Amazon for like $20.
Yeah. Oh, we got them. Yeah. And it's different because when you're grinding them together, it just creates a different flavor versus like putting your.
And it will also make your kitchen smell amazing. Like,
absolutely.
I use my coffee grinder to grind my.
Yeah. So you can do that too.
Yeah. Yeah, that works. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, I tried to have a mortar and pestle and then my husband took it and put his like magic spices in there. And now I'm not allowed to touch it because it's been cleansed. And
I can see. Okay.
Now I need a new one.
Oh no, this is my house.
I'm the only
no, this is her house. I'm at her house. Here.
You're all
Anna, your chai tea?
Yeah. So that's what you got to try next time.
Venti iced chai latte with sweet
cold foam and brown sugar syrup.
Oh my God.
I literally
that sounds like diabetes and I like it.
It is so good. So I originally saw it and someone said it tasted like cinnamon toast crunch milk.
Ooh.
So that's why I tried it. And it is like that plus like a notch. It is so good.
Oh, that sounds good. I've been kind of making that, but sugar-free lately. So
toast crunch.
There's a tea place.
Oh my God. I was never allowed to eat that as a kid because it's straight sugar, but it's so good.
There's a tea place by us that does all the like loose tea and whatnot. What's it called on Hojas or whatever. But there's this one tea I get, and I call it. It's not what it's called, but it tastes like going back to cereal milk, like Fruity Pebbles cereal milk. The milk that you get after Fruity Pebbles.
I love Fruity Pebbles. I have an
ice cream maker. They call it.
I made Fruity Pebble ice cream this summer.
Okay, so it's like they call it lemongrass bouquet.
It was good.
They call it lemongrass bouquet, and they put like coconut milk in it, and I call it my cereal milk.
That sounds so good though. I'm a really big I spend so much money on boba. Like there's a bubble tea shop like not far from where I live.
That's my daughter.
I'm like the guy is like the usual. And I'm like, this is New York City. This isn't like Wichita, Kansas. And I'm in here enough for you to remember my order.
Yeah.
Like, so I have a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, because there's probably a million people in and out of there every day. And fact is, they know who you are. So
they do know who I am. And like, I always go in, the same guy is always on shift. It's like one or two guys. And like,
it's like
he just
stalker's back.
Literally once I was like 4 or 5 spots back in line and he had my drink ready by the time I got to the counter.
I love it.
Movie.
Because he knew what I was going to order. And I was just like, thanks.
When I was doing my keto.
Lemmie.
Was his phone number written on your cup?
Right.
No, I don't think it was that kind of thing. You know, nobody ever hits on me in person.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I
Just the
get a
DMs.
lot of like
He's like, hey, if you want
DMs
some boba later, give me a call.
after hours.
I'll bring the
I
boba.
deliver.
That's me at this
Listen.
Korean barbecue place, this little hole in the wall place, but people line up, and I feel a little like a jackass, but also like, all right, cool. Like we'll go up, and there's like a line an hour. I'm like, hey, you know, how long's the wait? Or they'll say somebody like an hour, and then I'm like, okay, just put my name down, and then I'm the next one called,
Ooh.
and I'm like,
No, the best thing I ever got from someone I dated was not boba. It was Hamilton tickets.
it was what?
Ooh, Hamilton
I got
tickets.
Hamilton
Oh.
tickets.
That's
Yeah.
a nice gift.
Yes.
He was a really bad kisser, but those Hamilton tickets.
It was worth. So it was
Hello.
worth that bad kiss was worth the tickets.
It
Oh,
actually
Teresa
totally
knows.
was.
I mean,
See, Teresa's gone with me, and we do not wait in line there.
we don't wait in line there. Love it.
Ooh, that's fantastic.
I've never asked for
VIP
this.
access.
I've never asked for it. I just go there that often. Like the boba.
Oh my god.
I love boba. I try to make it at home sometimes, but it never really comes out the same.
Teresa can make boba.
Really?
Yeah, she's she's Taiwanese.
Okay, I need proper lessons. I've
Right.
been on YouTube here, and I've been looking, and actually, I have a trip to Taiwan booked in 2022.
This girl, she
Ooh.
cooks
I
like
want to learn.
amazing.
Aw. That's so cool. Wow. So where else are you traveling to coming up?
So my 2022 roster is pretty full because I have like a lot of places I need to get to for research that I haven't been able to get to.
Right.
So I've been to Paris already, but I'm going back.
Okay.
I've got Havana, which I've never been to.
That's where
That's
my
fun.
husband's family's from.
Havana is
Oh,
amazing, by the way. I've been, and
I'm really excited to go. And I'm
Incredible.
actually I share a birthday with Fidel Castro.
well, I wouldn't share that information.
Born several decades apart, I like
Yeah.
to add. But
Yeah.
you know.
Just a
Like-
few.
No, because I think we were playing this game once, and like I had an icebreaker, and it was like, what famous person shares your birthday? And all I got was Fidel Castro.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my goodness. And what is your birthday?
August 13th.
Girl,
Oh,
you know a ton of August.
Leo.
I'm a Leo
Yeah, I'm like
too.
I'm the least confident Leo you'll ever meet.
I'm
What
not a
is yours?
Leo, but I'm a 13th also. I'm May 13th.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
was
like
born-
having a 13th.
Yeah,
Good
it's,
number.
I was born on Friday the 13th, but like not.
So
on
was my son.
COVID. So I missed out on the like creepy
Hi,
factor.
Tiffany.
I share a birthday with
Hi,
Galileo.
honey.
Yeah, oh, that's a cool birthday to share.
Hmm
With who?
Galileo.
Oh, Rebecca's a
Ooh,
13th
oh
I
my
found that
goodness.
out when I was in Italy and we saw his little headstone and I was like, hey, birthday
Ooh.
It's my
buddy.
birthday.
Why could I not have gotten Galileo? Why did I have to get a dictator? Like, that's so mean. Can't have nice things in this life.
That's all right. You're a Leo, and that's something that, is better than pretty much, 11 other months. So
It's only because she's a Leo.
I am. And other
can
than
see
her,
that.
all the women in my family are Leos. So
Yeah. So the Leo thing is apparently all about like being gregarious and confident and charming. And I'm like, what?
charming is true.
And always staring in a mirror.
I hate mirrors. I hate mirrors. I still
because it's not always true. Not everything they say about Leos is true. And I can appear to be incredibly confident, but that doesn't mean that on the inside
There's
I'm
a
not
spectrum.
also
We're
even
not
harder
all
on myself
vain.
than
It's-
anyone else
yeah.
would be. So there is that. What?
You know who else you share a
most
birthday
Leo
with?
My most Leo trait is that I'm very prone to getting hung up on small details and letting it ruin my day.
Oh, and being a perfectionist is also one of them.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. But I've come so far when it comes to that because I'm just
Okay.
like, I'm working on being unfazed.
Well, I'm
You
still
know-
working on it. So
You share a birthday with Alfred Hitchcock.
girl.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so much better than the Fidel
That is
Castro.
so much better.
There you go.
Say that one now.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm gonna use that one from now on. How
See?
come they didn't when they Googled it, they didn't find that one. They found
I don't know.
No, 'cause
There's,
they wanted
I
to get
mean,
you
a
hyped
ton
up,
of them that
that's
I
why.
don't know, but yeah, Alfred
is that
Hitchcock.
Rami Malek?
Where?
I
The
thought I saw
hottest
Rami
man
Malek.
on the planet,
Who is?
Who?
Rami Malek. He is
He's so hot.
dude.
Uh,
Is that the guy that played whomever?
Freddie Mercury.
That one. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
and what is it? Debbie
Oh,
Mazar?
from
I thought
Robot,
he was
Mr. Robot,
cute,
that
though.
guy?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I
That one too.
thought he was cute since Night at the Museum.
Yes, when he played the Pharaoh. Was it Pharaoh? Or, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
I was
he,
like in middle school when that movie came out, and I remember he came out there, and I was like,
it was that because he has that like that unique, like that like. There's I
He's
can't
special.
explain it.
It's okay to say it. He's
What?
special. Ooh.
he's got great
The
bone structure.
eyes, like, cause yeah.
No.
I'm so
He's
jealous of people
not.
who are just born with like perfect bone structure. I'm like, what must it
That
be
too.
like to be highly blessed and favored?
Look at Anna.
Like,
Well, like,
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you
Anna,
about
you're
it.
so chiseled.
Yes.
Although
Oh my
Houston's
God.
never gotten
little
him, Houston has
jawline, and I'm
gotten
like-
Freddie Mercury a few times from people.
yeah.
I share a birthday with Chris Farley. Now, if that
Chris Farley
doesn't make complete
that's
I want to know
sense,
who I share with.
Funny though.
and Jane Seymour.
Aw.
Oh, the third wife of Henry
Queen.
VIII.
That
That's
is
so good. Oh, that's fascinating.
funny.
Aw. Well,
Fun.
that is better than Fidel Castro, but Havana is going to be amazing. If you're researching there, girl, there is so much to do, so much to
I'm
see.
really looking forward to it.
Oh, and talk about a time warp because all the cars are from the 50s and stuff. They
Yeah.
can't.
Oh yeah.
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 Yep. And as a tourist, you get a lot more liberties as well than the locals there. So that's quite interesting. Like they're not even allowed to eat the same things as tourists. So
What?
yeah,
They can't even go fishing.
yeah,
A
it's
lot of
great.
them are limited on fishing. You have to have a certain license and you can only catch so much or fish between certain hours.
Mhm.
And then, it's very.
Oh, that's very.
But the
Mhm.
art there, and they are famous for their art, which I'm sure you already know. But if you can visit their college and do a tour like of their like art section, oh my god, it's amazing. And then doing just like visiting like the different museums and stuff is amazing. And we got to do dinner with an artist. And he actually like took us to his studio, this warehouse in the middle of nowhere.
Really?
Amazing. Yeah. And then we also went to do dinner with his family and he did like kind of a luau style. They did like a pig on a spit and his whole family
Wait,
came and
how did you? He just like, hey, you want to come over?
Yeah, I was
you
gonna say,
guys?"
careful if anyone's like, hey, you want to come see my studio? Yeah.
I was gonna say that sounds like a come on.
it was set up through this gal who took us down there. We went on like a humanitarian trip and
Oh,
we
okay.
did towards their AIDS relief and stuff. So we did a lot with that. And it was through their church stuff. And then the gal who always goes, she connects with all these different artists.
Okay.
And each time she brings some, a group of people down, they kind of host in their home and get to show off their art. And then a lot of the people who come will then purchase a lot of the art that's for sale. But yeah, oh my God, Cuba is amazing. Oh, it's amazing.
I'm really looking forward to going. I'm working with someone who grew up in Havana who's helping me as a cultural reference with the novel. I always try to do that. And I'm really lucky in that I have a very diverse circle. So I can always find somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to hopefully my second novel comes together sooner rather than later.
Nice.
Are you going to spill any beans about it? I'm working on it now as the bean.
She's going to Havana.
I'm working on it now. That's the
And I'm
deal.
going to Havana.
Okay, well then we will try and be patient. Not a Leo trait at all, but I will try and be
No, patience is really difficult for me.
same, girl, same. But I cannot tell you how much we absolutely adored this book. And
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
I'm so glad you guys liked it.
Thank you for writing it, and thank you for coming on with us.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking time.
yeah,
No,
it's
thank you for
absolutely-
having me. It is like now it's time for my evening cup of white tea and then probably a shower and then
You're-
bed.
an early
Uh,
one.
Well, I have I'm going to look at apartments tomorrow.
Ooh, well, good luck.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably not stay in the one I'm at, so we'll see.
Right on. Well, good luck checking them out tomorrow. Get some good rest. And again, thank you so much for being here with us. It's
Thank you.
everything.
Thank you, ladies, so much for having me. I'm glad you got to hear about my obsession with Timothy Chalamet. That makes
So
me
are we.
look
So are
totally
we.
stable. But I think I have some competition, like all the competition.
Maybe.
We'll just tag him somewhere on this live, so then that
He's dating Johnny Depp's daughter. I think he's content.
Oh,
Hey, girl, you never know.
She's gorgeous. Good for her.
Yeah.
Well, so are you. So
Yeah,
I mean, if you just need us to make something happen,
I mean, if
we can be persuasive.
we can. We can.
Oh. All right, you can be persuasive. Well, we'll see.
We
We'll
can.
see what goes on there. No.
We'll put your number on his coffee cup.
Hey, Timothy.
Oh my gosh.
As I twirl my baton, we know you're not happy, right?
Terrible. Oh my God.
That's someone for you. Yeah.
Well, all these ladies are saying thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. I had fun.
We had a blast with you. Thank you so much. And good luck.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. All right. There we go. So she can pop out, catch her breath. Anyway, oh my God, she's so dang cute.
Yeah, she is.
And I mean, her story is absolutely lovely. We already know this, but I loved having her. It's so nice to have like someone on who's real and has like more to say and is like, I just write books. I hate that. I just write books. I'm glad you liked it. But she's just so different and so fun. And anyways, you guys know I was crying when I was finishing it. And
You're so dumb. I was like, I'm not looking at you. My eyes are watering watching you read this because I'd already finished.
She can't look at people who are crying. Like when she looks at anyone whose eyes are watering, her eyes auto water. So if you even like show her your eye like up close,
is that like the person that like goes to like hack like
her eyes will
well, I mean, I guess kind of where like my eyes will just water just to.
Thank you, Caitlin. I was fucking crying. So I'm over there like reading the end of this book, and I'm like, please just nobody look at me. Please don't.
I believe it.
This is so dramatic. She was like, look at me while I'm crying.
No, that is not it because this is how I read when I'm alone. It's just I was stuck in a room with other people and I was like, fuck it. Watch my emotions.
She said she just finished.
Oh my God. She finished.
Oh my God. No, I finished, what was it, Monday night? And I was so mad because I couldn't even talk about it with these girls because they hadn't finished their reading.
I finished in one sitting.
Oh.
And I was like, what the fuck do I do now?
Yeah.
I have to wait the whole week to talk about it?
No, I spread it out. See, I'm not even kidding. I was like, you're allowed a couple chapters.
No, I could not.
Like, you need to just chill because this is like a long enjoyment. And I didn't want it to end.
Yeah, I couldn't. My eyes were going foggy and I was still reading. Like I had to finish.
Oh my God. I'm so glad that Caitlin waited until today to finish because girl, yes, like you spread it out well, girl.
Yeah.
You sure did.
You were fresh on the emotion.
Well, no, I was crying and my mom's over there like, I know what part you're crying at. And I was like, what? How do you know? And she's like, did you finish yet? And I was like, why? And she's like, I just want to talk about it. Oh my God. Oh, mom's the best. It was great. And then everyone here was like, I finished early. Can we talk about it early?
Yeah. Okay, so I know that a bunch of our bitches, and we've gone over our 2 hours. A bunch of y'all have already jumped off, so you'll have to come back and add your bitch rating in the replay.
But
so that we can see it.
Here,
but for those of us here, give us your rating.
Give us your bitch rating. 1 to 5 Bs, 1 to 5 bitches, 1 being
I have like none of mine.
But 5 being read it again, recommend to everyone. I cannot believe I love this damn book so much. So 1, 2, 3, what are your reviews, guys? What are they?
Oh, hands
with
down.
my
Oh my god.
with my half nails
5.
on.
I would give it 10 Bs.
Yeah.
Both my hands.
You know
reading
what?
No, I
I don't
enjoyed
think I've given a
so
solid
much.
5 since It All Comes Back to You.
Yeah, I think it
No,
would
I
be
think that was
5.
your last 5.
The reason I'm giving it the extra finger is because this is
The
not
extra finger. Is this
Yeah,
extra
the-
finger?
the extra
finger.
is because it is not a book I would have ever chosen. I would
I
have never
agree.
picked up this book. So the fact that I went into this going, I'm gonna hate it, and then it came out and I really loved it, is
Yeah.
why I'm gonna give it the extra 5.
Yeah,
There you go.
absolutely. 5 at least.
Look
Thank
at
you.
all of them.
There
5.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
5. Wait, 5 of 4? 5 of 4, Caitlin.
She said 5.
No, she was mad at your 4.
She said a 4.
She said,
Oh.
That's
4.
already changed it. She said 5. Dude, it's 5 across the board. Like you could be
Yeah.
so unhappy at things that happened, and it is still one of my
Yeah.
favorite
No.
Well, I
stories.
mean, shitty things happen in life, but we still love life, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
these are realistic things. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not giving my life is a 5.
that's what I hate when people like judge books like, oh, I just didn't like what happened. Like, that
You
doesn't,
don't have to.
I don't understand why you wouldn't like a book because you didn't like
Yeah.
that. Like, it was an
Yeah.
awesome.
You're
Yeah.
not reading
no.
Cinderella.
Yeah.
What
All right.
was
Start the goodbye
your
tour.
really fast, and then we can do it. Oh, she's saying top 10 at least.
Top 10
Top. Oh,
books ever. I will read this
Ooh.
story again and again and again, and I will cry again and again and again.
and I'll stalk her and then ask her, hey, are we going to get another one? Like,
she'll be like, look, if we can get you Timothy, we want another book. That's that.
okay. Well, we'll hold him hostage. for
Everybody
her.
go share our video and tag Timothy
Every
Chalamet.
chance you get. Yeah.
Not this
All
part.
for another.
Maybe he'll at least be in her movie as Noah if she can't have him.
Writing was
And
an-
then we get a sequel out of that.
So, what was really fast before we get off? We've already given our reading. So, what was your favorite part of the entire book where you were like, "That's it"? That's.
I had a
that's the
few.
best.
I don't know.
What
if
is
You
she-
have to choose one.
When she yelled at Akira and started fucking breaking all the crystal vases, because I felt like that was her breaking point to be like, I'm done not being heard and not feeling like I'm being seen, and I'm ready to kind of step out of shadows. That for me was like, okay, boom, here she is.
Yeah.
The
You know,
concert when
because
her
for her to do that to her brother, who she thought the world of,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's about time. That
Hold
was,
on.
I think,
when the concert happened, and I know the concert was like some of the fave moments in this story because it was such a good moment for the two of them. Did anyone else feel like, based on dude was late, who's it gonna, it's a pianist, did we all think it was gonna be that damn douchebag?
yeah.
I did. And I was
And then when it
so
was her
relieved.
brother, I gasped out loud. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my
Concert.
God, it's her brother. Of course, this is amazing. And I was so happy. That was such an incredible moment. But also the in between when she got to talk to him, and
Mm-hmm.
that was her point where she was going to give up on life and she was done. And he
Yep.
got her through.
I think that for me, the when Akira showed up to the concert was, until I got to the end of the book, that was like, oh, my heart, he
Yeah.
showed up.
Yeah, he validated her at that moment.
So that is probably my second best favorite. But I think that at the end of the book, I know that obviously a lot of people had trouble with the fact that she went into that life. I feel like I automatically knew that she was going back to break the cycle.
Well,
And
I mean, I like how
was
she
just
said
like-
it, and that was it for me too. With how she said, "I'm not learning from you.
Right.
I
learned
all
from
over.
him.
yeah, and I'm gonna do it that way
Yeah.
And I
and
was
my
proud
way."
of her because she is strong enough. She knew that she could go back. She knew she was ready and she could do it again.
And it was important for her to do it.
Figuring out, motherhood, and it'll come to her, and
Yeah.
it will be, amazing for her and all that.
Vanessa, yes. Like he gave her the last thing he could give her, and that was, I'm going to protect you one last
Ooh.
time. And he
Yep.
wrapped his arms around her and it saved her. And oh my God, that was so. Can you guys see this in a movie?
Yeah,
Yes.
that whole scene in like
Car
slow
lights on the
motion.
rainy ground and like just and
With like
oh,
flashbacks going through.
Uh-huh. Oh, no,
my
I like
gosh.
reading that scene, like I saw it in slow motion.
I could see it like happening where they're slowly turning right.
Yes.
He's protecting her. You could see glass shattering, and then
Uh-huh.
you see flashbacks of like when he first met her, and
Mhm.
like as they're kind of growing. Like that's how I read it. That's how I
And
saw
being
it.
a pain in her ass for a second there, or just like giving her a heart. Oh my god, the little moments like at the
And
festival.
him feeling
She's
like, this is why
violent.
I came back to protect you
Yep.
one last time.
Her
Like,
being up
this
in the
is why I was
trees,
here.
like all that.
Do you think
Crazy.
that if he knew that that's what his family was up to, he would have still come?
I
Absolutely.
think so because I think he would have thought that him being there would have saved her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so
And it
glad
did.
you guys agree. That was just a question I had in my own head.
Yeah.
When she went to see her grandmother and she was like, I'm going when I want, not
Yeah.
waiting for her to call on me.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that was so powerful. She was like, this is my life. I'm now living it. You cannot make me do shit.
Yes.
Anyone
For
else
sure. The
remember
whole time it was
accident?
like grandma
Yeah.
and grandpa did something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was because of how incredibly powerful their evening was together that my
Mhm.
heart felt like something was coming and I didn't want it. And I was like, oh God, here it
Yeah.
comes. And then when the driver gave the look.
That's what killed him.
Yeah, that look.
Yes. When the driver gave the look, it was
Like,
oh shit, what's going down?
Yeah.
Damn it.
and the question, right? He's
Crazy.
like, oh, there's, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's two of you?
I don't remember that. I think he just had a look of confusion as to why he
Oh.
was there. Yeah.
Well, no, the
See-
driver knew, didn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't that
he
what
knew.
it
He
said?
was
He knew that
employed.
he knew that it was gonna wipe his debt or whatever it was.
No. But it was the look of confusion he had when he saw that Akira was with her.
Right.
There, yeah.
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 That's what we're talking about. My other favorite part was when she stood up and told the grandfather off and was like, basically, whether you like it or not, like I'm a part of you and I carry your blood. And I was like, ooh, girl.
And then he fucking strangled him.
Girl. Yeah, because that was the truth. And whether or not he
Yeah.
liked it, he couldn't change that. His blood ran through her. And there was nothing he could do to change that. And oh my God, I was so happy when she stood up and said that.
Yeah.
Good night, Regina.
Good night, Regina. Thanks, babe.
Hey, also really fast before we jump off, last thing is guess what
Tomorrow.
tomorrow is, bitches?
What happens tomorrow? What happens? Unboxing December is tomorrow.
Where's
night.
our little elf on a shelf?
Ah, look at this cutie little elf on our shelf there. Look
Where
at
is that bitch at?
that little elfie.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God, I can't wait. We are unboxing at 6:30 tomorrow night, bitches. So don't you forget. And you are not going to want to miss the absolute magical winter wonderland that is
Right.
going to
Kaylin
be.
and Vanessa, you're jumping on.
We will send you the link tomorrow after we set it up. But y'all are going to be live with us because you need to see what shenanigans.
To believe it. You got
Oh,
to see to
you
believe
need to
it.
see it to believe it. Don't even know. Winter Wonderland is a coming tomorrow night, bees.
And then, okay, one more last thing. I swear it's the last.
Oh my God.
Wednesday, orders close Wednesday to sign up for subscription for January and beyond.
Yeah. Better get your January order up in there and get ready. Oh, here we
Okay.
go.
It's
Yeah.
my fault. I know, but
Next
I'm also
time-
remembering all the important things to say. None of y'all are. You're welcome.
I do.
Good
And
night. That's my important thing.
You're
No.
welcome.
See, this is what happens is I try to remember all the things we need to say, and then Adriana calls it a goodbye tour. Bitch, then
No.
I need to put a
Wait,
drop
Lynn?
on them.
No.
Not at all.
No. Nothing like that. It's
How
just
about now?
time for a festive Christmas mood.
It is going to be a festive evening. Yes.
Yeah, festive. Okay.
If we could
No
have
Grinches. No
music
Grinches
playing-
allowed.
If we could have Christmas music playing in the background and not get kicked off, we would. But maybe Adriana will sing for us. So.
Oh,
I will do that.
I'm excited now.
Well, we could probably
Silent Night. Ready? We'll do a preview. Ready? I'm gonna sing my dad's version of Silent Night. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Good night.
Night.
Thank you.
night, bitches.
Good night, bitches.